Good morning, students. So today we will discuss subject chemistry, chapter 3. And as you know, chapter 3, part 1 already has been uploaded. So today we are going to discuss the part 2 of this chapter. The topic is elements, compound, and mixture. So today we will study about separating the component of mixture. So in the previous class, already we have discussed about elements. Then elements are further classified, that was about metals and non-metals, then compounds, then atoms and the molecules, then pure substance and mixture. So up to here, it has been covered in the part 1 of this chapter. So today we are starting separating the component of mixture. We often need to separate the component of a mixture. It is only by doing so that we obtain common salt from seawater, petrol, diesel, and kerosene, from crude oil, and drinking water from ordinary water. For separating the component of a mixture, we take advantage of their characteristics, properties like color, size, shape, solubility, melting point, boiling point, etc. For example, to match your red shirt, you can separate red button from an assortment of differently colored buttons. From a mixture of salt and sand, you can obtain salt by dissolving it out in water. As you know, sand is not soluble in water and evaporating the solution to dryness. So now in this first we are discussing, that is about the, as you know, there are different methods for separating the component of a mixture. So first one is sieving. If a solid mixture is shaken on a mass, particles smaller than the hole in the mass pass through and the bigger ones remain on the mass. Thus, particles are separated on the basis of their size. This process is called sieving. Small and fine sieves are used in the kitchen to separate bran and other impurities from flour. The impurities remain on the sieve and flour passes through. Bigger sieves are used at construction sites to separate stones from sand. So here you can see the two images also been given. With that easily you can identify. Now the next is magnetic separation. Iron is attracted by a magnet. So if you move a magnet through a mixture of iron filling and sulfur, the iron particles cling to the magnet. Sulfur is not attracted by a magnet and so the particle of sulfur are left behind. Thus, is a mixture of iron and sulfur separated, and this such method is called as magnetic separation. Like example, huge electromagnets are used to pick up scrap iron from scrap yards. These magnets are switched on or switched off by electric current. Now the next is sedimentation and decantation. Suppose you have a solid liquid mixture in which the solid is heavier than the liquid, such as example, a mixture of sand and water. If you allow the mixture to stand for some time, the solid will settle at the bottom and the liquid will remain over it. So this process is called sedimentation. And the solid layer at the bottom is called sediment. The liquid above the sediment is known as supernatant liquid. You can pour out the supernatant liquid carefully into the other vessel, leaving behind the sediment. In the laboratory, you may pour out the liquid using a glass rod to avoid spilling. This process is called decantation. This method is commonly used while making tea. When tea leaves are mixed with hot water, they float on the surface in the beginning. On soaking up the water slowly, they become heavier and shrink to the bottom of the vessel. The clear liquor is decanted and used. Decantation can also be used to separate liquid, forming separate layer in a mixture. Example like oil and water. Next is filtration. By decantation, a liquid is not completely separated from an insoluble solid. So that's why filtration is a better method. A circular filter paper is folded along its diameter into two semicircles. It is folded once again into four quarter circles. Now a cone is opened by holding three quarter circles on one side. This cone is fitted into the cone of a funnel and moistured with water so that the filter paper stick to the funnel. The solid collect on the filter paper, whereas the liquid passes through. The clear liquid thus obtained is called filtrate. Next is about the evaporation. A solid separate from a solution when the solvent, that is, the liquid in which the solute is dissolved, is evaporated. So here you can see one image is given. So it is an evaporation of seawater in the sun gives crystal of common salt. So you can do one activity also based on that. So in that you can take a beaker and fill 1/4 of it with water. Add some salt like as a half spoon to it and dissolve the salt by stirring with a spoon. After you obtain a solution, then you pour the solution into the china dish and place the dish over a slow flame. The water will evaporate and the salt will be left behind in the dish. Now the next is distillation. So in distillation, a liquid is vaporized by being boiled and the vapor are condensed and collected separately. If the liquid is mixed with any solid, the solid will not vaporize. Thus, a liquid can be separated from a solid mixed with it. The process is useful for separating a solid liquid mixture that is homogeneous. Examples such as a solution of salt in water or heterogeneous, that is example is a sand water mixture. Now this one example you can see its image is shown there. So you can perform distillation by setting like this apparatus. So one experiment also been given in your book. It's on page 34, figure 3.13 of distillation. You can go through that. So this is the same image of that. Now the next is sublimation. Generally, on being heated, a solid first melt and then vaporizes. But there are many solids like ammonium chloride, iodine, naphthalene, and camphor that vaporize without melting. The vapors of such a substance, on being cooled, directly form the solid. Thus, by sublimation, a substance that sublime can be separated from one that does not. Example is given like ammonium chloride can be separated from sand or salt by this method. So here one image you can see, that is this sublimation is used to separate ammonium chloride from salt. So for that you can see experiment is given in your book also on page 34, figure 3.14. So what they have done, they have mixed some ammonium chloride with common salt and keep the mixture in a dish. Cover the mixture with an invented glass funnel and plug the opening of the funnel with cotton. Heat the disc gently on a wire gauge. Ammonium chloride sublimes and collect in the cotton, whereas common salt remain in the disc. Now you can easily understand why a naphthalene ball or a camphor piece vanishes when left in the air for some time. So student, after sublimation in your book page number 35, so their difference has been given between the mixture and the compounds. It is very important. You just go through that. It's table 3.5 in your book page number 35. So as you know, mixture, so it is a impure substance, while compound, it is a pure substance. Then mixture, if we talk, it does not have a fixed melting or boiling point. While compound, it has a fixed melting point and a fixed boiling point. Then if we talk about mixture, the component can be present in any proportion. While in compound, the constituent must be present in a fixed proportion. Then the case of mixture, the component can be separated by a physical means, while in compound, the constituent cannot be separated by a physical means. Then mixture, the components show their individual properties, and compound, the constituent do not show their individual properties. So this was the part 2 of this chapter. So all the topic has been covered in this. As you know, that chapter was divided into 2 parts. So thank you, student.